Is our bull market doomed because of signs on a higher time frame with Bitcoin? That's what we'll find out today when we take a deeper look into the charts. I'm the Gaussian Snake, and this is Crypto Simulation Theory. Please be sure to join my free Telegram group, the Snake Pit, for more, including daily technical analysis and a really great community. Just a quick reminder that nothing I say here is intended to be financial advice. Always do your own research. So if we look at Bitcoin on the daily, we can see that we have been in a downtrend for some time since mid-March. This is putting us at almost 2 months into a downtrend. The Gaussian channel has flipped from green to red, and we are below the 100-week whole moving average, or HMA, which is just a more current version of what you're used to seeing with a simple moving average. And so it still is my base case that we'll somehow end up down or in this red zone from 45K to 50K at some point. Although that could end up being wrong, I do anticipate we'll probably come back at the very least to retest 56-ish K. So the question is, if we go to a higher time frame like the 2-month and we start to look at the chart there, are there signs of pending weakness? There's been some theories going around about that online, and I want to address those and see if there's any validity to them potentially, or if it's just a myth. So there's this theory going around about Bitcoin on the 2-month that this gravestone doji candle, I guess I could zoom in so you could see it better, that we printed in April after 7 green months in a row, which would be represented by 3 greens here because these are 2-month candle intervals, is somehow a sign of impending doom, and that we're going to head straight down into a bear market. And there were some ideas based off of Fibonacci levels that suggested that we had topped out just above the 1.00 Fibonacci level. And yeah, basically our cycle's over, and anything that happens from here is just a fake out. So when I heard this theory, it bothered me because I don't see that in the charts. But let's go ahead and analyze it critically, and we can also look on the monthly time frame as well. I think really zooming out to anything bigger than a 2-month, I mean maybe a 3-month we could look at. Quarterly is pretty good, but anything bigger than that, I don't know. You just don't have a lot of data to work with. So one thing I'm noticing though that looks bullish to me, not bearish, is that if you notice here, this would be your 100-month SMA, which is a very strong simple moving average, and the yellow one is actually the 40-month SMA, another very strong moving average. And what do you notice? We just had a golden cross of these two. That is not bearish, folks. Right off the bat, this is a golden cross. Golden crosses don't mean a whole lot when it comes to simple moving averages, but when it comes to whole moving averages, which is what I prefer to use, HMAs as they're called, they actually do take on some meaning because they're fairly current moving averages and will pretty much tell you what's going on right in that moment. Like we had a death cross in September of 2022 and we put in our low not that far after. Now we have a golden cross actually happening this month, believe it or not. If my cursor is correct, around March, my bad, March of 2024. Actually, is that May? Let's go find out. Let's put it on there and see. Kind of hard to tell. It looks like April. It's because we're on a 2-month interval, so it's a little bit hard to tell. But anyways, so April of 2024, we are finally getting a golden cross, and I'm not imagining that this turns down in a meaningful way. Obviously, that's not enough evidence to confirm bullishness. Just as a reminder, I do have this red zone here because I do think Bitcoin is going to make its way down to that, but that's just my guess. Let's turn on some other indicators and see what they say. How about something just as simple as the weighted logarithmic Bollinger Bands? So if we go back, and again, these are 2-month candles, we can see that we have been above the median line many times. The only times we ever kind of went below it were during major lows. Of course, we had the COVID crash. That was kind of an anomaly. As you can see here, we had the lows of 2019, coming out of the bear market of 2018. We had the lows of 2022, which actually dipped below the weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band line. Now we are, relatively flat at the moment. This Bollinger Band standard deviation line is turned up. Notice that in the last cycle, we didn't really make it up quite that high. And so there is some concern here with the gravestone doji that we might just kind of roll over into a lost cycle or just have a fake out or something like that. Note that the weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band median line is around 36K, and we typically don't approach that unless we're heading into a bear market, with of course the exception of coming out of this 2018-2019 situation. So now right now the 2-month candle for May is green. So do keep that in mind. We still have a long ways to go this month, but there's nothing immediately alarming to me other than we did get rejected up here, which does correspond to a similar rejection point that we had in March of 2021. But there just isn't enough data to really conclude anything here, except the weighted logarithmic Bollinger Bands are still turned up, which is bullish. Okay, I turned off my red zone because it was getting a little distracting. So I turned on the Gunnar EMA, which is another great indicator for when you're in a bull or bear market, and you can see this dipped in March. Most of 2015 we were down at the red Gunnar EMA and we were above it during our bull market. We dipped below it again in 2018, 2019. There was a COVID drop, and we dipped below it again in 2022, 2023, and here we are going back above it. So again, unless we just come straight down and slice through this and have absolutely nothing bullish going on between now and like August or September, this would be a pretty weak move here. So I'm not saying that this isn't it, right? I can't prove to you that we're going to get bullishness from here, but there's nothing that immediately concerns me with the Gunnar EMA either. Something else to note, this is the Bitcoin risk metric, and this is a fairly new risk metric, and notice how we've always hit this upper red zone during any parabolic top, and we are not even halfway there. In fact, our risk level is 46.66. To get up to the 90 to 100 risk level, we would need to breach a price of 133K. Even to get to the 80 risk level, you have to be 112K per Bitcoin. So we're nowhere near those levels. So that's something to keep in mind. Zero level is almost at 30K. I think it's reasonable to think we could come back down somewhere between the 30 and 40. I mean, we're already at 46.66. I think it's possible. I don't think it has to happen, but I do think it is something that could happen before we maybe head higher. Again, I can't, tell you what exactly is going to occur, but the log channel is getting narrower as you would expect with logarithmic regression, and I can draw an actual log regression chart through here, but seeing a risk like right in the middle doesn't really concern me all that much. It just tells me Bitcoin is probably near its fair value. Okay, so I fit Bitcoin with logarithmic regression line from -3 to +3 standard deviations away from the mean in the middle in increments of 0.5. And this is again on the 2-month time frame. You can see the initial capitalization period. We got all the way up almost to the 3, came down to the -1.5, oscillated back up, I'd say almost to the 3. And really the lowest we got was on the COVID drop, which took us down about almost to the -1.5 again. That seems to be kind of a line in the sand, and we didn't even get that far. We only got to the -1. And on the route up, we barely almost got to the 2. And so now we're just barely touching the 0.5. And it, honestly seems to me like we should at least, get close to where we were last cycle. I know in some of my previous videos I've called for tops between 75 and 85K. I think that was way too conservative. I think I'm going to have to revise that. Of course, I don't like to move goalposts, so you can hold me to that prediction until it's invalidated. But realistically, I still think we have upside left, and I think we could be seeing Bitcoin prices north of 100K, not super far north of 100K. I mean, again, it depends when the cycle ends, But my point is, the bear market got us down to like the -1, right? And like the -1 at the moment is sitting at around 27K. I don't think we're heading down that quickly. Maybe we head down to the median line or just a little bit below the median line. That's my 45 to 50K range. That would make a lot of sense. Curl back up and complete this parabolic path. And I think it's going to look probably something like a fractured version of 2017 if I had to guess. I don't see us just rolling straight over into a bear market. Nothing is making me think that yet. Nothing on the 2-month time frame. Looking at the ADX and DI, we can see certainly a weakening trend over time. In May 2014, our trend strength was like at 91. We had a nice dip 2016 to about 49, which is still strong. Then we got up to about 84. Now we've come down considerably. I think in 2021 we were at levels around 57. We've come down considerably. We're only at 25.61, but notice that we are starting to curl up. And if you think that this is it and we're done and bull cycle's over, that's a pretty sad cycle. And like we're about to see like a nasty bear market or something. I'm skeptical of that. Yes, we are turned down right now. We have some bearish convergence, in the sense that these are pointing towards each other, which is not really a good thing. But we haven't really had a strong move in a while. But this does look like it's kind of bottoming out and concave up. So my thought is that the trend is going to strengthen, and this is a good thing if the green DI can start to head back up as well. Now it does look like the green DI has put in a series of lower highs over time, which is it's normal, it's to be expected, but is it something we should be concerned about? So if we connected these with a trend line, it looks like we still have a little ways to go. So I would anticipate the green DI to make it close to the 50 level before it just kind of calls it a day, and I would expect the ADX to start to turn up. Now this could mean that our bear market is a stronger bear market when this does finally resolve, but I don't think this is heading into a bear. Again, there's nothing really suggesting this to me, looking at these charts, that, still not seeing it. Snabble RSI has been putting in a series of higher or lower lows over time. It just doesn't quite look like it's reached the levels it's reached in the past. Here's January to March of 2021, July to January of 2018. We had some pretty sharp tops in 2014, and this doesn't really look like lower highs to me. And look we're only at 83.9. I mean, it's really not that high of a level. We've been kind of crabbing around here for a little while, and honestly, this looks like it's kind of bullish, right? We have the average moving up. So I think we can get another leg out of this, and that doesn't even have to be the end of the bull market. So, and keeping in mind this is on a 2-month time frame, it seems like we still have quite a bit of time left in this market cycle. At the very least, a few more months. I think more than that. I think end of year is a possible target for the end of this bull run, but it could very well extend into 2025 as well. This is the 2-month price momentum oscillator. You can see that major peaks have been pretty significant for Bitcoin's price. March of 2013, right before a major peak price. Again, November 2013 at a peak price. Then we had a little peak down here in May of 2014, most likely a bear market rally. Then over here in November of 2017, this is right before our December 17 peak. Then you come over here, this is March of 2021. Right before our April 2021 peak, in September of 2021, right before our November 2021 peak. So in terms of price momentum, where are we at now? We're not even close to previous topping levels. We're just not even there yet. May of 2024, we're green, turned up, and I just don't think this is about to roll over, especially with this nice, strong double bottom pattern. Another bullish signal. So every single signal I've looked at has been bullish. If all we focus on is a gravestone doji candle, yeah, it's easy to be bearish, but look under the hood, look at the moving averages, look at the log regression. I don't see anything bearish. Nothing. Does this look bearish to you? It doesn't look bearish to me. 3 green bars in a row, increasing. Nice separation here, nice inflection on the MACD signal line. And then the MACD moving average line is turned up. There's just nothing here that makes me feel bearish. Bullish, 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 bullish. Our stochastic oscillator looks like it's just getting started. You can see once we get above 80, we tend to spend quite a bit of time there, and we barely spent any time there at all. So again, this just makes me think that we have more time in this market cycle, possibly upwards of a year. Average sentiment oscillator looks like it's just barely getting started. All other bull markets, this thing has gone up for quite some time, right? Much longer than just this little bloop. We had a pretty powerful bear market in the average sentiment oscillator, and we haven't even exceeded that yet. So I just feel like people who are giving up right now and calling it a day, they're not really looking at the big picture. Bull bear power trend looks like it's quite bullish. Bulls are in control, and this can last for some time. Now this requires a lot of data, and with a 2-month, you're not going to get a lot going on here, but it sure doesn't look bearish to me. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 greens in a row. We've only had 3 greens in a row. So you have to think there's probably more on the horizon. This kind of momentum is very hard to destroy. This is the parabolic SAR on the 2-month. I've actually never looked at this. And you can see last time the floor price to get above the bear market was $13,222. And once we got above that, it was pretty much just straight up, parabolic price action until we broke through. Looks like 31,000, and then we had a series of these bearish dots. And now that, magical level to break that we did break was about 52, 53,000. And here we are going up again. So, if history respects the past, then we shouldn't see any 2-month closes below 53K. And that should be a value that we watch out for. So like around, 10,000 less than what we're trading for now on a 2-month scale, we should be able to hold that. So this person also looked at the 4-month, the one who was predicting this doom and gloom, and said that things didn't look necessarily so good, I think, on the 4-month either. But to me, they do. Here we are tapping on the lower boundary of the Gunnar EMA. Back in 2019, we went above it, down below it. Very clear what's bullish, what's bearish. And you can see that these are 4-month candles. We actually came up and held this. This would be the 80-month whole moving average in yellow. We're stacked above that. We're stacked above the Gunnar EMAs. That's bullish. It's just plain and simple bullish, especially with this inflection kind of echoing what we saw in the 2-month. So I don't see any cause for concern on the 4-month. Let's go look at the monthly and see if there's any cause for concern. I'm not going to do a deep dive into every single time frame right now. This video would get way too long. Monthly looks good too. Okay, so we are coming down, and we did try to sort of go below the 20-month HMA, but we held it. And even if we do come down, we still have the green down here. And this is kind of like a bull market support band in a way, a version of it. It's different. It's not the same as the bull market support band from Into the Cryptoverse, but similar idea. So, and that level looks to be around 48, 49K. So if we did, let's say have a red month in June, for instance, or if May turns out to be a red month, which it isn't right now, but if it were to turn out to be one, like if we were to just go flat out red, maybe by June or something, we would tap this, green line and take off from there. That's what we did that's exactly what we did in 2021. I don't even know that it needs to be that dramatic though. Like it could just simply be that we print a little red this month and then start to, we could form kind of a curling up here very quickly. I don't see any evidence to suggest that our bull market is over just looking at this either. Everything I'm looking at to me just looks so bullish. So in summary, I feel that on a large time frame, I'm talking a month, 2 months, 4 months, Bitcoin looks bullish. It just looks bullish. And who cares if we have some short-term downside, and if May's a red month or June's partially red, I don't care. I don't care at all, because I believe that, we're forming, this is not my original idea. Others in my chat have pointed this out, but I see it myself. We're forming pretty much what looks like a cup and handle here. I'm on board with that idea. And whether we have to descend to 48 or 50K before we kind of start to round that handle out, or we round it out around 53 or 56K, or even where we're at right now, I don't know. But I do think that downside volatility is probable in the coming weeks. But I don't think it's going to last for very long. I think we will turn around possibly as soon as the end of this month, or even, early June. We've already been in a downtrend for 2 months. So I think one more month heading into June is reasonable. I think having May close red, or even May closing in a weak green, is reasonable. It would all fit in line with a typical correction that we kind of needed after, kind of running up so hard for so long. But the monthly, the 2-month, and the 4-month all make me feel really bullish. I'm not going to obsess about a bearish hammer candle. Not a hammer candle, a bearish doji candle, and start to think that, the cycle's over and all that. Seems like a little bit of hyperbole, obsessing over one single data point. That theory makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Yes, this does look bearish. Okay, a little bit of rounded top here. I do believe this is a significant local top, but so what? Maybe it forms a cup and handle and we head back up. That's what a lot of people think, and I agree with them on that. I think that is probably the most likely outcome. And so a lot of people are getting fudded out of the market right now, and cashing in their Bitcoin, cashing in their altcoins, and walking away. The market's very boring. It's not that interesting. And that is a time that you want to be paying attention. You do not want to tune out during these times, because this is when the deals happen. This is when the real good deals happen. Look at, on the Gooner EMA, we had a bullish cross in November 2023. The previous bullish cross was March of 2019. Let's go to the 2-month and see what, I wasn't even paying attention to this earlier. I guess we didn't trigger the little plus sign on the 2-month. That's okay. It's kind of hard to trigger it anyways. My point is, though, everything looks pretty good. I'll let you guys know if I feel concerned. Join my Telegram group, and you can get my alerts when I'm like, hey guys, I think this is it. I don't feel that way. Bitcoin risk is like under the 50 level. There's just nothing that really scares me right now. Your portfolios are down, so what? They'll be up, they'll be up. I'm confident they will. So if I ever sound bearish, it's just on a short-term time frame. We've already made it through 2 months of that time frame. I'm going to start feeling bullish on the shorter time frames too, when just a little bit more time passes, and I feel like we've bled out enough. And I did say for the longest time we needed like a 2 to 3 month cool down, and I feel like that's exactly what we're getting. We're getting a slow bleed. I could see us getting a pretty sharp drop, and I think if that happens, we probably get a V-shaped recovery out of it. Not a massive V, but like, for instance, if Bitcoin went down to like 45K, I don't think it would stay there for very long. It might stay at the 53K level for a little while, but I don't think it would stay at 45K very long at all. I think that would be bought up fast. So yeah, these are just my predictions and thoughts based on data, based on the charts, and you can use this information as you see fit. But please just remember that this is not financial advice. So you would have to listen to what other people are saying, look at my charts, look at your charts, and form your own conclusions. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and join my free Telegram group, the Snake Pit, for more. And I have a link to that in my video description. This is Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snek, and I will see you next time. Bye.